It's on like Comic-Con, and specifically in this video, London Film and Comic-Con. So welcome back to Tac Tac Toys, welcome to LFCC. So this is footage from the Friday. I went on the Friday, the 5th of July, 2024, to London Film and Comic-Con in Kensington, Olympia in London. So it's kind of one of the other big Comic-Cons in London, done by Showmasters, I think, or Showmasters. So here's me in a sort of section of the Death Star, I think. Just, you know, keep an eye out for that. And welcome back to Tac Tac Toys, your home of all the latest action figure news. G.I. Joe Classified, Veloverse, Action Force, Operation Monster Force and more. Here is all the cool stuff. Now, I do mention them a lot on my channel. This is their stall at LFCC. So as you can see here, they've got quite a lot of legends. I did speak to the guys at all the cool stuff quite quickly, but yeah, they have quite a stacked stall. No doubt all this kind of stuff's going to sell very quickly on the Saturday. They did have a few X-Men 97 figures that I didn't initially see, but then upon further, you can see there Jean Grey and Nightcrawler. Upon further look, I saw them. Got Kang, as you can see there. Yeah, there's a bit of a glare, so apologies about that from the sun because it's got a glass roof. You've got the Fallen Silver Surfer, and that's quite hard to find figure there. So all the cool stuff did have some really good stuff, some really cool stuff. Quite a mix of legends. They had Black Series there as well. They had a few G.I. Joe Classified, but not many. That's obviously the Magneto in his, is it Powers of X or Age of X uniform. But yeah, as you can see there, MCU Shang-Chi, they've got Ultron. So they had quite a few different sort of Marvel Legends on display. We're going to look at this again. We'll see sort of more Marvel Legends. You see MODOK there. But yeah, as the guys from All the Cool Stuff said to me, they don't always have the most up-to-date stuff or the newest stuff, but they did have quite a nice selection. They were very friendly to talk to. There was the other vendor that was at this show was Geeky Nerd Toys, I believe, which I think they're the controversial ones. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we'll see them a bit further and a couple of others, a couple of independent vendors. But yeah, this is all the Marvel Legends selection they had. So they had quite a nice selection here, as you can see. The Friday wasn't too busy. It was quiet, it was manageable. I got to sort of film at all the stalls quite easily and kind of have a good look around. There's Thunderstrike, as you can see there. Yeah, there was a few hidden gems here and there in terms of stuff, particularly Mezco 112. There was a few Mezco 112 hidden gems. When I looked around, you'll see that a lot more later in the video. There's quite a lot of coverage, so if you can, do stick around for the majority of the video. I know it's a long one, but if you can sort of stick around, you'll see plenty of good stuff on display here. So yeah, this was the Marvel Legends section of all the cool stuff. There was a Black Series section on the other side. They had some Lightning Collection Power Rangers, yeah, and G.I. Joe Classified. Not much G.I. Joe Classified, I have to say. There was not a lot, and it was the only stall I think that had G.I. Joe Classified. So yeah, I mean, MCM is kind of now becoming the bigger Comic-Con out of the Comic-Cons in the UK or even in London. There's obviously MCM May, which is growing and establishing. MCM October, that's probably the biggest, arguably the biggest Comic-Con where obviously Hasbro shows up. This was a Comic-Con that was a lot bigger, pre-COVID. It kind of tends to be a Comic-Con that has a lot of celebrities, like Denise Richards, for example, was there, you know, from Starship Troopers, and a few episodes of Friends, of course, as Ross's cousin. She was there doing autographs, and there was a few other people. But yeah, so I mean, this does have action figures, but it tends to be one that has a lot of celebrity guests, a lot of cosplaying. There's a comic presence, so a lot of comic artists at this one, actually, a lot of comic artists. So yeah, and here's the actual arena itself. So as you can see, this is the Kensington Olympia arena. For anyone sort of living outside of London, or maybe who's not been there before, or any of my sort of, you know, viewers across the pond. Yeah, so it's quite a large venue. It was even larger than this previously, so they did used to open it up into an even bigger space, but it seems like they've just kind of got the main hall here. Now, they used to do this in sort of the Spring Comic-Con and the Winter Comic-Con, so yeah, maybe it's sort of shrinking in size, I don't know, but lots of stalls, as you can see here, lots of stalls kind of with lots of stuff on display. We're going to have a walk around and view like a lot of the stuff that's on display, so do keep an eye out for that. Keep your eyes peeled, and we'll get into it a lot further. But as you can see at the start of the video, I had to look at all the cool stuff. There's plenty of good stuff to come. So yeah, like I say, please do stick around if you can. It's going to be a bit of a long one, so maybe put your feet up, grab your favourite snacks and drinks, and just relax, and we'll get into it. So this is one of the first sort of things I saw which caught my eye. It's called Smart Doll. I believe they're like AI sort of like dolls. They're quite big. You'll see they're kind of maybe Hot Toys size, or maybe even a little bit bigger. I think they work based on AI. I don't think these were for sale. They were a bit, they had them like on display here. So as you can see here, this is obviously a Supergirl one. They kind of had the disability, you know, the theme of disability sort of running through them, I think, which was quite nice to see, sort of an inclusive thing like that, or that kind of thing, you know. So obviously we've got a rebel pilot here, yeah. So they kind of wanted to have that included in the, you know, in their sort of theme or brand. Is this Ellie from The Last of Us? I'm not totally sure. I'm presuming it is. The one next to us, obviously from what's that video game? Fallout. That's it, Fallout. And then you've got two Spice Girls. So as I say, these were quite big. I mean, they were probably Hot Toys scale or a little bit bigger. I think they were sort of AI dolls. I'm not totally sure. There is a write-up here we'll sort of see in a moment when we go through them. So there's obviously some Spice Girls themed ones. Again, I don't know how you actually buy these. I think there's like a AI code, or so if we get in close we'll see. Let's see, can we read it? It says Smart Dolls and cosplay in cosplay outfits. They're not for sale. Okay, so you can order them at this website. If you see there, www.smartdoll.ai. So if you were to head over to www.smartdoll.ai, you'll be able to see prices or things that you can see a QR code there. You'll be able to see all prices and sort of range that they have. They did have quite a range of them. Again, this one's holding a mobile phone, so presumably there's an app, which, like, I don't know what it does, to be honest with you, but yeah, I mean, there's one obviously like Batgirl themed. So these were quite eye-catching. They were quite near the entrance when I walked in. They're one of the first things I saw. So I thought I'd sort of go over to the owners or the, you know, people at the booth and just ask them about it and kind of find out a little bit more, or just ask if we could actually take some photos or take some film for some footage. The good thing about the Friday was it wasn't too busy, so it was kind of easy to be able to film a lot of this kind of stuff. So as I say, these really caught my eye. I'm presuming tomorrow on the Saturday, which may be going up at the time of this video, but on the Saturday, the 6th of July, it probably will be a lot busier, or maybe, yeah. So on the Friday today was not so busy, but Saturday it could be a lot busier. So they do look good. I mean, yeah, I'll say that. They're very interesting looking. They definitely caught my eye. And yeah, I just want to double check the date. And yes, Saturday is the 6th of July. Again, you may be seeing this video on the Saturday, depends on when I get it up. Put it up onto YouTube, but I went on the Friday. It's a quieter day and I was able to do all this filming. So again, these are Spice Girls themed ones, I presume, but it's quite an interesting idea to have sort of you know, these AI themed dolls. Then we move over to all the cool stuff, so we're going to talk more about them. They are a sort of independent UK retailer that I do mention in my shout outs. You'll see shout outs later, but here's their actual stall at LFCC. So yeah, as I say, all the cool stuff were at LFCC, and they had quite a range of things. You did see it a bit earlier in the video, their Marvel Legends section, but we're going to have a sort of more extensive look at everything they had here. Now, I have seen them before at the November Comic Con for LFCC. Here's their Marvel Legends section again, starting off with Hammerhead, and then Ends the Earth Spider-Man, I believe he's called, Hercules, a few Fantastic Four figures there, as you can see. You've got Ragnarok Thor in the corner, or is it, yeah, maybe Ragnarok Thor, and then the Tony and Happy 2-pack from the MCU. A few X-Men figures, like I say, X-Men 97 figures. You've got Nightcrawler and Jean Grey that were tucked in the bottom. I'm sure they're not going to last long on the Saturday. You've got Kang. Now he's probably a harder to find Marvel Legends, so again, he's probably going to go quickly, I'd imagine. Same with Full and Silver Surfer. This is probably going to be one that on the Saturday will probably be whipped up like that. So again, maybe by the time you're watching this video, these two could have gone. If not, and you're in the area, why not get down to, if you're in London and you can get down to LFCC, here's what you could be picking up. So yeah, if you do see this video and you like the look of anything and you can still get a ticket, head on over. You can even say hello to me if you want. But yeah, as you can see, quite a selection of Marvel Legends, a few older Marvel Legends, not sort of the most current stuff. Again, LFCC tends to be a Comic-Con that is, I don't know, being overshadowed a bit now by MCM. It was one that I went to pre-COVID and it was very good. I would say it was probably on par with MCM pre-COVID. Excuse me, but I think post-COVID, yeah, MCM is just doing the better job. I mean, the May MCM was very good. We had Marvel Legends reveals this year for the first time ever. Obviously, the October MCM is the big one, where we do get Hasbro showing there, and a few of the vendors, the regular independent UK independents, there's Comics and Cocktails, and a few others in demand toys, of course. So this is kind of, yeah, an alternative one to go to. As I say, all the cool stuff are there. They did have quite a lot of Legends, so maybe if you're like, if you've got a few gaps in your collection, there's a few things you want to sort of, you know, pick up, or maybe a few things you've missed, or maybe army builders, as you can see there, the Hand Ninja, then you could go over to LFCC and pick a few of these things up. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's good for that. The prices weren't too bad. I suppose they were kind of your typical Marvel Legends prices, sort of anywhere between £20 to £25. I think, yeah, a few varied. Probably all the cool stuff had the best selection of Legends. I mean, there were sort of other independent vendors who did have Marvel Legends, but they didn't have quite an extensive selection as this at LFCC. So yeah, so as I say, there is a spring LFCC, there is a winter LFCC. They're not as good as this one, but even this July one is sort of not as good as it's been previously. But yeah, as you can see here, quite an extensive selection of Marvel Legends. So if you do collect Marvel Legends, or you've got, or maybe you just got into it, say if you've just got into it recently and you wanted to fill out some gaps, this is probably a good kind of you know, Comic-Con to go to. Obviously there's no shipping to pay for if you do go, so you could just turn, if you live in London, or even if you live just maybe, you know, outside London, and you know, you're free this weekend. There's still, of course, the Saturday and the Sunday, so you could always pop on over. Then I meant to film this, you know, I've accidentally filmed it sideways, but again, this is their Black Series collection, or yeah, that they had, that all the cool stuff had. So they had quite an extensive collection again, as you can see here, quite a lot of Black Series figures. The guys at All the Cool Stuff were telling me they had Kiadimunde. Again, apologies if I butchered his name there. And he's going to show up. Well, that's Boba Fett, isn't it? But a few others. And I think they had the Anakin and Padme, which they were saying was some of the newest ones, and the Clone Trooper. Again, you know, are those the newest Black? Oh yeah, and of course the Mandalorian that everyone loves from the Black Series. So they had that available. Again, like, if you like anything you see here, do pop on over to LFCC if you can get a ticket. You know, and you can pick up any of this stuff in person if you sort of got a bit of spare cash and you're kind of like wanting to know what to do with the weekend. I mean, so when I went today on the Friday, it was quite wet, and you know, the weather was quite wet. Tomorrow it's sunny here in London, and then Sunday it's going to rain again. So yeah, I mean, if you're not doing anything else on the weekend, why not pop over? As you can see, they do have quite an extensive collection of Black Series figures. I'm not that up current with Black Series figures. I mean, I'm aware of them, I'm aware of all these characters. I think these do all look like older kind of Black Series figures to me. Yeah, some of the Bad Batch ones there, I think they're a bit harder to get. Like, that's Wrecker, isn't it? As far as I'm aware, anyway. But you let me know in the comments below if you're a Black Series collector, if you've got any of these, if there's any gaps in your collection. Oh, they've got tech there as well from the Black Series. It's funny what you see in the video. You know, there's some stuff that I see now in the video from my footage that I didn't see when I was filming at the time. I was so busy filming. So it is interesting to see that. You've got some Black Series helmet, Darth Vader helmets there for, you know, cosplay. And then some of the older figures, Director Carrick, you know, kind of some of the older figures. So again, All the Cool Stuff did say that they tend to have kind of an older selection of figures, but they were quite nicely stacked out. I mean, they've got some Stormtroopers there if you do want to do some army building, and of course Darth Vader, a classic figure, the 501st Clone Troopers. So plenty of options. Like I said, if you're, let me know in the comments below if you are a Black Series collector or a Marvel Legends collector, and if you see anything here that you haven't got in your collection, do let me know in the comments below. Or if you see things that you've got and you're just kind of like enjoying the video for that purpose, but do let me know. Obviously, gravity hasn't taken a turn for the worst at LFCC. This is just my filming. I unfortunately filmed this bit accidentally the wrong way around, so, you know, apologies about that. But you can see everything on show here. Normal sort of coverage will resume soon enough. But yeah, they had some. That's the Endor Rebel Trooper, isn't it? There you can see. That's some of the credit collection figures at the bottom. Again, I didn't notice these when I was actually filming. It's funny what you notice afterwards, looking at sort of the footage. They got some of the sort of 3.75 inch Star Wars figures, I should say, sorry, not Black Series, but Star Wars figures. I can't remember what they're called. What are they called again? The 3.75-inch ones. Anyway, I don't know. But if you want to do any world building, these are always good for world building. Funnily enough, later in the video, talking of world building, we'll see there was a stall next door to these guys that was doing all sort of war gaming with Star Wars figures, and they'd done some great world building. They built dioramas and things. You'll see all that. But again, this is all the cool stuff. So they've got a website, as you can see there, www.allthecoolstuff.co.uk. Yeah, some more sort of Hasbro role-play items, that's the right word, isn't it? Role-play items, some Transformers there you can see, and then underneath that you've got, well, my favourite, G.I. Joe. Not a massive selection, they had a Battle Android Trooper, but they had a lot of stuff that people already have, to be honest. So again, with G.I. Joe Classified, if you'd sort of been interested in getting into the line, you hadn't got anything, probably would be, you know, this would be a good selection, but let's be honest, most people have all these items. And again, welcome back to TacTac Toys, your home of action figure content. In this case, London Film and Comic Con, and let's get on into that action figure content a little bit more. So let's talk a bit further. And yeah, this was actually Geeky Nerd Toys, I believe it's called. So this is their, yeah, it's Casey Jones, and this was their sort of NECA Mirage figures. Now, you know, I don't know much about Geeky Nerd Toys. I don't know if that's the one that's sort of controversial, that's kind of you know, had a lot of customers had problems with. Not really too sure, but if you're enjoying this video, don't feel free to smash the like button, comment and subscribe. And then they had like a Star Wars zone that was kind of like essentially giant dioramas. You know, if you're doing cosplay, you can come stand and take photographs in these areas. So I did take a photograph of myself, which you'll see as a thumbnail. But yeah, this was quite fun. It looked really good as well, really well done. So again, there were people sort of wandering around as stormtroopers in cosplay and sort of Rebel Alliance kind of pilots and all that kind of stuff, and Jedi. So again, this would be really good for, like, if you want to take any photos. These kind of things are really good. Life-size props, as you can see here. There was one like this. There was one you saw earlier in the video. It was kind of like a Rebel Fleet Rebel Fleet hallway, like, you know, kind of the Rebel ship hallway, I believe. Anyway, but yeah. So this was kind of like great for cosplaying. Really good idea, actually. I don't know if I've seen this before in a Comic-Con. Again, London Film and as in the UK and MCM or anything like that. London Film and Comic-Con is good for stuff like this. I do believe probably other Comic-Cons, like maybe in Birmingham, things like that, do have this kind of stuff. But MCM doesn't tend to have too much stuff like this. But it's good. You know, it's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea. It definitely helped me create a thumbnail, so appreciate that. And it's really well done. And to be honest with you, it's making me think of great diorama ideas for 1/12 scale for Black Series and things. So yeah, it's funny where ideas can pop up with your action figure sort of, you know, creativity, photography, all that kind of good stuff. Talking of which, like I said, I mentioned the wargaming earlier. When I was looking at the wargaming, I was thinking this would make a great diorama in 1/12 scale for Black Series. Obviously, the wargaming is a lot smaller than that, but you'll see that later in the video. So yeah, quite a nice, fun diorama. Like I say, you know, plenty to sort of look at. And again, here's a quick look at the sort of convention hall overall. So as you can see, it's quite big, a lot of stalls to see, but it's not as big as it's been previously. So again, it's a little bit disappointing. MCM is just massive compared to this. I mean, MCM is easily probably at least twice the size of this, if not 3 times the size of this. Oh, we go to Sesame Street, over to Sesame Street. Here we got Oscar the Grouch. So yeah, this was again like a kind of diorama type thing that they had where you can come and take photos. There was someone standing next to it. I think the guy standing next to it told me that the Oscar the Grouch character, that someone gets inside this and does like puppetry, you know, either does puppetry or something like that, which is quite fun. So yeah, that I could have done that as a thumbnail, to be honest with you. Probably should have done. But yeah, quite a fun little thing. Again, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to smash the like button. Feel free to comment and subscribe, and let's keep up with the content. And yeah, so let's take a closer look at Geeky Nerd Toys stall. So here you can see they've got a horror section, got a lot of, I presume these are NECA, like Chucky dolls, things like that. And then moving down, we've got the Master of the Universe TMNT Merman. You can probably see him there. Two NECA Robocops, NECA Usagi Yojimbo from the Turtles. Quite a lot of good stuff. I think we've got the Mezco Turtles there, a NECA Predator in the corner. So they had quite a stock booth. Now, I don't know whether Geeky Nerd Toys is the one that is controversial, with a lot of problems with customers. As you can see here, it may not be. As you can see here, a lot of these sort of NECA Turtles 2-packs. And then, like I showed earlier in the video, the Mirage Turtles, these look pretty good. So yeah, lots to see on their stall. And again, it's one of those things where I'm looking back on the video and I can see a lot of things I didn't initially see at the time. As you can see, there NECA Dungeons and Dragons, NECA Back to the Future. It's funny, isn't it? When you go to these Comic Cons, sometimes there's so much to see. You may not actually see it at the time, but having a look back on the footage, I can see there's a lot of stuff. For example, the Gremlins. I didn't see those when I was there. A lot of stuff you may not see at the time. This was quite a horror-centric booth, obviously, as you can see here. A lot of NECA horror stuff, which they were well known for before Turtles became more of their main thing with NECA. One thing that I did think Geeky Nerd Toys had, which was quite good, they had a lot of Mezco 112s. They had some really good prices on their Mezco 112s. So we're going to see that in a minute. There's the NECA Universal Monsters. We're going to move over in that direction to the Mezco 112 stuff, and I thought it was a very good price. So yeah, again, I'm not sure whether Geeky Nerd Toys is the company that customers have had a few problems with. Again, I don't know. I'm just sort of commenting on what a stall that was here at LFCC. So you can see they had quite an extensive NECA collection. I think a lot of older NECA figures, as far as I'm aware, as well. So. And then there you go, there's the Mezco 112 stuff. So you can see a few G.I. Joe ones, such as Dexter and Roadblock. I have both of those. They had Death Adder, I think he's called, next to them, which is like from their Hazard Squad or Rumble Society. A few cosplay Mandalorian helmets. Yeah, again, a few more of the, is it Terra Toonies or Tiny Toonies or whatever they're called? The Toxic Crusader figure in the corner. Excuse me. So, yeah, Bendham's. I think a Universal Monsters Bendham. So yeah, quite a lot. Again, for me, the thing that stood out were the really good prices on the Mezco 112. So you can see a few Kriegs there. They had the Krieg 2 set for £75. They had the Black Krieg for about, I think it was around £55, maybe a little bit more, £60, something like that. Yeah, but again, not too bad prices. There was another stall, which I do think I take a bit of video, which had kind of a lot of Mezco 112s, again for very good prices. Probably by the time this video goes up, it could be the Saturday, and a lot of these things may go quickly because it's going to be a lot busier on the Saturday. It wasn't actually too busy here on the Friday. It was sort of manageably busy. And then, yeah, as I mentioned the War Games earlier. So this was called Entoyment. It was a wargaming and hobby centre. So this was next to all the cool stuff. Here was their Star Wars diorama with lots of miniatures. So as you can see there, Darth Maul and Anakin Skywalker. Now this made me think of how great a 6-inch scale diorama would be to complement your Black Series figures. Obviously it would be enormous, maybe something modular, but it did make me think it would be cool if we got something like this. I don't know if there's lots of diorama customizers or makers out there. This would be a great kind of thing to have. Anyway, I was sort of drawn to this, you know, seeing this wargaming and hobby kind of thing, essentially like Warhammer 40k, that kind of stuff, you know, miniatures of the same style or size, sorry, but these are Star Wars ones. So I decided to take some footage of this. This isn't really my kind of thing. I mean, I'm more of a 1/12 scale or 6-inch action figure collector, but it is always nice to see these things, to kind of see what, you know, other people collect and see all this kind of stuff, and it always makes me think of ideas. Like I say, it made me think of diorama ideas for Black Series. I mean, I don't essentially collect Black Series that much anymore, but if I did, this is probably what I make. And if you want to know what these are called, these kind of miniatures, it's I think they're called Shatterpoint, I believe. But there's different packs, so you can get like a Mandalorian pack. You can get the Night Sisters? I believe so. You can get the Clone Force 99 or Bad Batch pack, and then like a Obi-Wan Kenobi Hello There pack with some clone troopers. So that's kind of essentially the wargaming, Star Wars wargaming miniatures. As you can see here, you've got more of the Warhammer 40k type stuff. Again, there was a big selection of these kind of miniatures there as well at Entoyment. So they didn't just have your kind of Games Workshop type stuff, which you can see here. They did have a lot of other type things. Presumably they all have miniatures. I don't know. I don't believe all war games or all sort of miniature games do have miniatures. I think some are more board game like, but where you can use different excuse me, you can use different miniatures on different things. This is Star Wars Legion, which I know again does use miniatures, so maybe you can mix and match the Star Wars Legion figures with the Star Wars Shatterpoint ones. There's Battlefront, there was a Doctor Who one, again that may not have miniatures with it, but yeah, I mean, if obviously miniatures are in the same scale, I guess you can mix and match them as you want to. I mean, Warhammer is completely immersive, isn't it? It's a UK-based thing, Games Workshop. I know they do have it all across the world, but it's really immersive in the in its world building stuff. It's almost a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. Like, I know McFarlane Toys does the sort of, or does the kind of 7-inch kind of characters. Here's some Marvel stuff. So I'm aware of obviously Warhammer action figures through that, and Bandai's done some others. And again, let's head back to the table here where we can see the kind of diorama. So the good thing about Warhammer, you know, Wargaming or Warhammer or that kind of thing, for dioramas, things like that, it's all quite small and compact, you know, so it's quite easy to sort of play and store. I mean, all this fits onto a tabletop, hence the name tabletop. As you can see, there's a Senshi Ventress, is it, and Ahsoka, and then a few other kind of characters like sprawled out across the table. Again, I'd love to see this kind of stuff imagined in 6-inch scale or Black Series scale. And if you want some great places to pre-order and purchase action figures, you can of course check out Blue Owl Collectibles. Feel free to check out my affiliate link in the comments below. Why not check out Kapow Toys? We mentioned all the cool stuff earlier, so mentioned some other UK independents here. And talking of all the cool stuff, here they are again. So yeah, you saw them earlier in the video. Feel free to check out Star Action Figures. You can of course check them out. Let's go have a look at what other places we've got here. You can check out the whole shebang. And what other good stuff have we got cooking? Ah yes, you can check out Gobsmack Comics of course as well. And let's see what else. Props and Replicas. So yeah, they do a lot of shows. They weren't obviously at LFCC, like I said, the only ones that really were all the cool stuff and geeky nerd toys and a lot of independents. In Demand Toys used to do LFCC previously, and for your Valaverse Action Force stuff, you can head over to valaverse.com, or of course Props and Replicas here in the UK. We'll be getting a lot more in. You can check out Invincible Toys. And what the good stuff have we got? Let's see. All UK and international independent retailers. You can of course check out Comics and Cocktails. They've been at MCM Comic Con quite a lot in the past. And you can check out Emporium McCool, and they do all high-end good stuff like Mezco 112, SH Figure Arts, you know, Mayfex, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, and moving back to LFCC, here we've got a look at, this is an independent retailer. Which one was it? Let's have a look. I think it's Mr. Mystery action figure. No, that's not. That's another one actually. So this was a kind of, I think it's Wiki Figures. Yeah, Wiki Figures. This is called. Yeah. So this guy's got an eBay store, an eBay account. So yes, I made my notes. It's called Wiki Figures. So he gave me that name, his eBay name there. So feel free to check that eBay account out. He had a lot of Mezco 112, as you can see here. Fairly good prices. I mean, they had Mezco Bishop for about £45. They had the Black Mezco Krieg for £55. So they were fairly good in terms of pricing. Obviously, they've got the Batman there for 150, I think, or 130. The Mezco Keaton Batman, the Krieg 2-pack. So it was interesting that at LFCC there was quite a lot of Mezco 112 stuff, and you know, fairly decent prices. The two takeaway things I would say that were there were Marvel Legends. I mean, obviously Black Series as well, but Marvel Legends in particular at Geeky Nerd Toys, and all the cool stuff. Or in fact, more all the cool stuff. Sorry, and a lot of Mezco 112 bits and pieces. How long this Mezco 112 stuff will last tomorrow, the main day of the Comic Con, is to be seen. I think it's going to go fast. They had Morbus or Moibus, who was meant to be a very good Mezco 112 figure. So I think a lot of this stuff is going to go quick. So again, if you are in the area, or if you live near Kensington area, kind of like Chelsea, or you're in London and you haven't got anything to do over the weekend, and you want some Mezco, and you're a Mezco 112 collector, maybe get yourself down to LFCC, because you might be able to get a few bargains. They had the Predator, and I think they had the Alien. One of the places had the Alien. Yeah, there you go. It's got the Alien in the background. So again, not too bad prices. I mean, I think the Krieg set were a little bit cheaper at Geeky Nerd Toys, but these guys at Wiki Figures had the Black Krieg a bit cheaper. So you just got to shop around, really. I mean, the good thing about the Friday was there's plenty of options to be able to choose and look at stuff. You know, it wasn't too busy, but like I said, it's all going to be changed tomorrow. I'm meeting Dan Hayden, a friend of mine from the Dan Who crew. We're going to talk more about Dan Who and a lot of other YouTubers later in the shout outs, but yeah, I mean, there was plenty of sort of Mezco 112 stuff to see. And then there was a place called P&A, and they did Joy Toy Warhammer figures. We sort of looked at Warhammer a bit earlier, didn't we, in the Entoyment Wargaming. Now, I've always looked at Joy Toy figures from afar and admired them. They're 1/18 scale, so that's like 3.75 inch. if you see me lingering on the camera, that's because I'm looking at some characters I really like the look of. I'd love this kind of stuff in 1/12 scale. I'm a 1/12 scale collector myself. What I've tried to do with this video is put in a lot of different kind of things, just so you get a look at all the different stuff on display. Normally when I go to MCM and stuff like that, I tend to focus a lot on Marvel Legends or G.I. Joe Classified or anything like that. Black Series, a lot of the 1/12 scale stuff, because that's the kind of collector stuff I collect, in particular G.I. Joe Classified. But here I've tried to get a range of different stuff for all my viewers, you know, different things. So Joy Toy, yeah, it's kind of like, these are like articulated Warhammer figures. They look really good. They are expensive. I mean, the cost of one of these is probably nearly the cost of 2 Marvel Legends, so, you know, excuse me, you know, judge that as you will. And that's kind of just a regular figure. Some of these bigger figures are even more expensive, maybe leaning in towards the SH Figure Arts kind of price range, or maybe even Mezco 1/12. So they're not cheap. These things aren't cheap, but they are extremely well, they look extremely well made. I've never had it held on the hand. They do look extremely well made. I believe they are extremely well made. So again, they're a little bit pricier, but if you want to collect Warhammer action figures, you know, you want 1/18 scale, you kind of want these to go with your higher toys or other Joy Toy lines, then this is perfect. You know, I mean, obviously McFarlane do these sort of 7-inch ones that aren't quite as good as these, I have to be honest, but they're fairly decent. But these are kind of like more your high-end Warhammer figures, and I mean, what can I say? They do look fantastic. They are really, really good. I would like to see Joy Toy go into the 1/12 scale market, like I say, but when these figures are kind of so pricey, you can only imagine what 1/12 scale Joy Toy figures would be. Could be really pricey. Now this was interesting here. Now this was a booth called Mr. Mystery. Now it was quite an arty booth. As you can see here, the guy had put action figures in spray cans. So I asked the guy behind the stall what was the sort of inspiration behind this, and essentially it was pieces of art where what he'd done, he kind of was an artist, and when he'd basically done pieces of art and the spray can was empty, he'd incorporated his art with action figures into the spray can to make it a piece of art. So as you can see here, there's lots of different lines. You've got NECA, I believe, or McFarlane, but NECA kind of sort of in the spray cans. Very interesting stuff. Apparently prices range from about £25 to $25 right up to about 150 or £150, $150, that price range, you know, if you're watching in the US. Again, it caught my eye because there was a few Marvel Legends ones. You'll see them a bit later. We've got a few Simpsons ones here. I thought it was just a bit different. They're kind of interesting display pieces. You've got Mario, a few Mario characters, Luigi, the princess, and then at the top, it's Gremlins. I actually didn't notice those until now I'm recording. These are a bit difficult to see, but you see the turtles are here. Now that looks really interesting because the ooze coming from the cans looks like, well, ooze exactly. So you can kind of incorporate that nicely into display. I don't know if these figures are articulated any longer. I doubt they probably are, just because of the way it's sort of built into the spray can. But yeah, he had t-shirts there, as you can see as well. And then on this section, well, there's a Lion-O sort of original sort of LJN, is it? Lion-O. And then Marvel Legends. These are sort of Toy Biz Marvel Legends. Now this is what caught my eye in particular. I think it's a really interesting idea. It's definitely a different way to display your figures or have, you know, an art piece. So if you collect Marvel Legends like Toy Biz or Hasbro ones, and you wanted something a bit different, then you could have something like this in your collection. There's one piece, and at the top I think he's got, is it Sota Toys? I believe it's Sota Toys Guile and Cammy, and then a Flash figure, which I'm guessing to McFarlane. No, it's a statue actually, that is. So yeah, this was Mr. Mystery action figures. Very interesting. And then it got like a Lilo and Stitch as Wolverine, and talking of Wolverine, there's one in the can, Deadpool and Wolverine, so we're in the spray can. Quite interesting. We saw quite a few Marvel Legends there, and for all the latest Marvel Legends news, reviews and live streams, check out Dan Who Reviews, Legends Liquor, Turtles and Tea with Dan and Tanner, and of course Joe's and Juice with Dan, Tom Mini Plastic Multiverse and myself talking all the latest G.I. Joe Classified news, and of course Jay's Toy Collection. Now he might have a video up on LFCC, with yours truly being the cameraman. We'll have to wait and see on that. Of course, feel free to check out Miguel and the Wolfpack Toy Review for action figure toy hunts in the California area. Feel free to check out Justin Collects as well. And what other great YouTube channels have we got? Let's see. Yes, you can check out Robo Don't Know for all the latest sort of action figure news. He does a really professional job, the weekly roundup. In fact, there'll be one tomorrow at the time of this video. You can check out AC Toy Design. or maybe today, depending on when the video goes up. Feel free to check out Z-Man12Bat. Yes, you can check out his YouTube channel. Feel free to check out Dante and the Infinity Equation. What other good stuff have we got? Oh, well, if you like film and TV review, this is from London Film and Comic Con. If you like film and TV review, check out their website, filmandtvreview.com, and you can, of course, check out the 3POA podcast. And feel free to check out Austin, the Hero of Collectors. And what else have we got cooking? Ah, yes, for all things Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, and more, you can check out Trevor, the 1/6 shooter. And for action figure reviews in Ireland, you can check out Brian's action figure reviews. And what else? You can check out Cypher Sigma as well. Yeah, he does a lot of sort of, you know, action figure reviews and film kind of reviews. You can check out Photo Dave and Toy Picks for all his action figure toy photography tips and tricks. Feel free to check out Big Will Pictures and Plastic. He does a lot of wrestling videos with the Who crew. And what else we got? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, my good friend Elson. You can check out his music, like his music covers and music of his own design. And feel free. Well, in fact, we're going back into the video, so feel free to check all those out if you want to. Here we've got a look at some Lego. That's some South Park. Now, I do believe this was on a vendor who didn't want to be mentioned, so that's absolutely fine. I did ask all the vendors beforehand if they wanted to be in the video. Some said yes, so any ones you hear mentioned are in the video. I think this was one the lady didn't want to be mentioned, so I'm just kind of showing off her Lego bits there. Again, I filmed this primarily for Jay because I know he's a big Lego guy, so a lot of my content I sent over to Jay because I wanted to share it with him, so he might be putting a video up. But as you can see here, this lady had quite a lot of Lego. I've certainly learnt with Lego it can be very valuable, the actual Lego figures in particular. When I went to MCM in May, I sort of learnt this. I'm not a Lego guy myself, not particularly. I have got like a kind of third-party Lego Formula 1 car in 1/12 scale. The 1/12 scale is my jam, so any Lego I'd get would probably be Technics or anything like that could scale with my 1/12 scale action figures. But yeah, I mean, Lego's kind of its whole own bracket in terms of Lego collectors and things like that, I've learnt, and it certainly can be a profitable thing if you do get the Lego sets. So yeah, and we go from Star Wars there, Disney property, one Disney property to another. We go from Star Wars to Marvel, as you can see in a moment, but plenty of and Dragon Ball Z, I think, in the background. I didn't even know. No, there isn't actually. No, there's quite a lot of things going on there. Like I say, when I was filming this, I didn't even see it all. I was sort of Lilo and Stitch, didn't even see that. It's amazing what Sonic and I think there's Sonic and Mario. Didn't even notice that when I was filming. But obviously we've got Carnage here and Deadpool and Wolverine at the front, and then some of the Netflix characters from Marvel. So yeah, this lady had a sort of little area of Lego, and she had quite a lot of sort of older retro figures as well. One thing about LFCC, there was a lot of smaller stalls with retro figures, so it's good for that kind of thing if you want to go, to look for retro figures. There are loose figures as well. This was another stall, comics and collectibles. So this guy had a lot of kind of, I've done it sideways again, but like a lot of kind of single things there. As you can see, like a Buffy figure. He's based in Wales, he told me. Again, when he's chatting, he had a lot of comics, hence the comics part, and collectibles, hence the collectibles part. He's got a bit of Lego there. So again, there was quite a lot of different little random stalls. MCM's a bit more different in that there's a lot of bigger kind of there are these small stalls, but there's a lot of bigger ones like Comics and Cocktails, had the Hasbro booth, obviously, Kapow Toys, In Demand Toys, with more of your kind of like modern like Marvel Legends, all that kind of stuff, action figure lines, whereas these kind of Comic Cons, it can be a bric-a-brac of anything. As you can see here, there was a lot of more retro stuff at LFCC. I mean, particularly LFCC can be all about sort of celebrities with autographs. Like I say, I saw Denise Richards, or I saw the elbow of Denise Richards, I should say, today. And now this caught my eye. This was just a random stall, and they had these sort of original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1991. I've never seen these before, so I don't know. They're brand new to me, but obviously they weren't, I guess, too bad prices. I mean, I guess they're what you expect to pay in terms of probably being quite rare. This is kind of one for all your Turtles and all the Turtles and T viewers, all the Turtle viewers out there. Shout out to Dan and Tanner. So yeah, I didn't know these figures existed. Again, if you collect sort of like the original line, you may know about these, but I'd never seen these before. They were in a cabinet. Like I say, they sort of caught my eye, so I thought I'd film them. Well, let me know in the comments below if you got any sort of original Turtles figures, or yeah, if you collect them when you were young, I guess 1991. Excuse me, if when you were a kid, or if you're aware of these. I certainly didn't. One thing that's lovely is the packaging, isn't it? I mean, retro toys certainly do have appealing packaging. Then there was, oh yeah, the reason I took this was for Hot Toys. This was Corvus Moon Cult Collectibles. So I was speaking to the lady here, I think she's from Birmingham, but they had quite a lot of Hot Toys at the top. Again, I filmed this for Jay because I know he loves Hot Toys. I filmed a lot of the Lego for Jay, and I filmed this for Jay because I know he loves the Hot Toys. So there we go. So yeah, they had quite a lot of Hot Toys here at Corvus Moon Cult Collectibles. I will sort of show off the flyer the lady gave me. So it will have the website. I think it's got a contact number as well, but it will have the website. So again, if you like the look of any of the stalls that I've seen here, most of them do have contact details. So there was Comics and Collectibles for earlier. So yeah, you'll see it now. Yeah, there you go, Cult Collectibles it's called, or Corvus Moon Cult Collectibles. There's the website, www.corvusmoon.co.uk. So again, you can head over there if you see anything you like in the video. It's probably available for purchase, I'd imagine. Yeah. There you go, you can see everything there about. So they tend to be like, it seems to be like a lot of prop or replica type things, and also, you know, action figures here and there. So this kind of, there was a lot of stalls that looked like, you know, props and replicas, hence the name, do a lot of action figures and replicas or props. It seems like there was a lot of stalls doing that kind of thing. Well, that's my LFCC video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know there's plenty of different stuff to watch on YouTube, so thanks for sticking with me. I know it was a long one. Yeah, let me know if you've been to LFCC before, what your thoughts are, you know, and until next time, just make sure you enjoy those flicks and figs.